former President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo, First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia, my beautiful Samira, Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Akosua Osei-Freeman-Opare, Chief of Staff, Stephen Ayensu Inti, the National Chairman, our General Secretary, Justin Kodua Frimpong, the Chairman of the Council of Elders, Honorable Hackman Owusu-Ejiman, and members of the Council of Elders, members of the National Executives, members of the Council of State, Ministers of State here present, members of Parliament, parliamentary candidates, former presidential aspirants, members of the diplomatic corps, religious leaders, traditional leaders, CEOs present, invited guests, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 3 months ago, I was elected as leader and flag bearer of the new patriotic party to lead the party into the 2024 election. I am eternally grateful to His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for giving me the opportunity to serve as Vice President. 11 days ago, the party also completed its election of parliamentary candidates for the 2024 elections. Let me use this opportunity to also appreciate the leadership and grassroots of our beloved party, the NPP, for the seamless organization of the parliamentary primaries following on the equally successful presidential contest. I believe the time has now come for me to speak to you, the good people of Ghana, about my candidature, what we have experienced as a nation, my vision and priorities, and why I believe I am the best candidate for the presidency of this country. I recognize that submitting myself to your service, the electorate, to vote for me as president is no different from interviewing for a job. One needs to tell a prospective employer what he has accomplished in his previous job and how he can successfully deliver in the new position he is seeking, which is what I seek to do in this speech. Even though tonight is about sharing my vision and policy priorities with you, I crave your indulgence to broadly set up the context. I will first talk about the record of our government and my contribution as Vice President before I lay out my vision. So I ask for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, when we assumed office in 2017, we were confronted with an economy with declining economic growth, along with several problems and challenges. A graphic description of the state of the economy at the time was provided by the former president and my main opponent for the 2024 presidential election, who announced to the nation that the meat was finished and the economy was left with bones. Notwithstanding the difficult economy we inherited, we had to get on with it and start to fix the problems. We started with a clear, decisive, and deliberate program to, among other things, stabilize the economy, fix DUMSO, fix the National Health Insurance Scheme, fix the roads, clear the arrears, make education free and accessible, significantly enhance social protection for the vulnerable in society, industrialize our economy, tackle youth unemployment, and empower farmers. Between 2017 and 2019, all the key economic indicators, such as economic growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, interest rates, the fiscal deficit, exchange rate depreciation, and the trade balance were all moving in the right direction. However, between 2020 and 2022, we experienced severe challenges triggered by the pandemic, which brought the world and our country to a thundering halt. We may be tired of hearing it, but there is no avoiding the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war resulted in the greatest economic depression in the world since the 1930s, with most countries recording negative GDP growth. The severity, especially of the pandemic, was captured in the words of the IMF Managing Director, then asked, and I quote, "This crisis, like no other. This is a crisis like no other. Pandemics don't respect borders. Neither do the economic shocks they cause. The outlook is dire. We expect global economic activity to decline to a scale we have not seen since the Great Depression." End quote. Supply chain disruptions and rising price of oil resulted in major increases in the prices of fuel, freight, and food across the globe. I believe it is worth pointing out that in addition to the external factors, there were two major items of expenditure that are critical to understanding the difficult economic situation we have faced. And these are the banking sector cleanup and the energy sector excess capacity payments that we inherited. Expenditure on these three items, including the COVID-19 expenditure, cumulatively amounted to 50.1 billion Ghana cedis, and this was financed from borrowing. Ladies and gentlemen, the fiscal deficit, which was reduced from 8.4% to 4.1% in 2019, increased to 10.8% in 2020 as a result of revenue declines in the midst of increased expenditures during COVID. In addition, our debt became unsustainable. Along with many emerging economies, Ghana lost access to international capital market finance. This resulted in a balance of payments crisis, as Ghana had to continue to honor its debt obligations, energy payments, and the import bill. We faced a serious global and domestic economic crisis. There were many who predicted that we were going to end up like the situation in Sri Lanka, with fuel shortages, food shortages, inability to pay workers, DUMSO, anarchy, and chaos. Indeed, Ghanaians were hit hard by rising food prices, increased exchange rate depreciation, and rising fuel prices and rising transportation fares. Bondholders also saw a sharp decline in their net worth following the painful restructuring program. We faced very challenging times, but with calm leadership and the support and understanding of the good people of Ghana, we have weathered the storm. The government had to seek IMF support to stabilize our economy and restore fiscal and debt sustainability over 3 years. I must at this stage salute and give particular recognition to the Bank of Ghana, which has come under unfair criticism for taking the necessary measures which help pull the economy back from the brink. The Bank of Ghana provided needed financing to the government at that critical moment. What the Bank of Ghana did was very responsible in putting the interest of the good citizens of Ghana first. The data which is available shows that the financing provided to the government by the Bank of Ghana was temporary. The Bank of Ghana has provided zero financing to government in 5 out of the last 7 years. Zero financing in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2023. The Bank of Ghana financing of government in the COVID-19 year of 2020 and the liquidity crisis year of 2022 was because of the domestic and global crisis with underperforming revenue and no access to international capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the good news is that the data shows that the economy is recovering from the crisis we faced. Inflation has declined from 54% in January last year to 23% in December 2023. Economic growth is rebounding, spending is under control, and the fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP has declined from 10.8% in 2020 to 4.2% in 2023. The debt to GDP ratio, after increasing from 61.2% in 2019 to 76.6% in 2021, has declined to 66.4% in 2023. And the exchange rate depreciation has also slowed down sharply since February 2023. Whereas the exchange rate depreciated by 30% in 2022, between February and December 2023, the exchange rate depreciated by only 9%. Ladies and gentlemen, what is remarkable is that notwithstanding the domestic and global crisis that we have experienced between 2020 and 2022, the economic performance as measured by the key economic indicators such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, trade balance, exchange rate depreciation, lending rates, gross international reserves, and jobs. The performance of all these key indicators is better under our government than that of the 2013 to 2016 period, when there was no global crisis. Let me give you 2 examples for the sake of time. you look at agricultural growth and the stronger GDP growth performance in 2017 to 2022 period is underpinned by a strong agricultural GDP growth, which increased from an average of 2.9% between 2013 and 2016 to an average of 6% between 2017 and 2022. We have done double what we inherited, notwithstanding the crisis. We have made a lot of progress in agriculture, even though there is more to be done. Rice imports, for example, have declined by 45%, from 805,000 metric tons to 440,000 metric tons between 2021 and 2023. The goal is to be a net exporter of rice by 2028. It is clear that some of our policy interventions, such as planting for food and jobs, have borne fruit. I now tackle exchange rate depreciation. On the performance of the cedi exchange rate, it is also interesting to note that between 2013 and 2016, just before we came into office, the cedi depreciated by an average of 17.7% annually. But since 2016, between 2017 and 2020, there was a significant decline in cedi depreciation to an average of 7.5%. The average cedi depreciation further declined to 6.8% between 2017 and 2021. However, the 30% depreciation of the cedi in 2022 resulted in the average depreciation of the cedi between 2017 and 2022 to be 10.75%. So again, notwithstanding the domestic and global economic crisis, the depreciation of the cedi under our government is lower than that we inherited from the 2013 to 2016 period. Let me talk about jobs. What is probably the most remarkable development in terms of the economy is that our government has created 2.1 million jobs between 2017 and 2022, notwithstanding the global economic crisis. The public sector recruited 1.2 million people, while the private sector created 975,000 jobs, according to SNIT data. We recruited 100,000 more health workers, 100,000 more teachers, more than double the fire service personnel, and so on. Our government clearly has created more jobs in the last 7 years than any other government in the Fourth Republic. This is truly remarkable under the circumstances, even though we still have to create more jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, clearly, notwithstanding the economic crisis, this government has been able to steer the ship of the nation away from catastrophe. In the face of the crisis, overall performance of the economy in areas such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industrial growth, trade balance, gross international reserves, and job creation has demonstrated resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, available data also shows that notwithstanding the challenging economy we inherited and the global economic crisis that ensued, government has chalked a large number of achievements across the country. Due to the constraints of time, I will only be able to enumerate a few of these achievements. However, government will soon outdoor our performance tracker in the next few weeks, which will detail all of our achievements in every sector and every district in the Republic of Ghana. But I will name just a few of the achievements. We have undertaken a major roads construction and rehabilitation program across the country, over 11,674 kilometers of roads according to data from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. I am not aware of any government that has done as much in the road sector since 1992. We have initiated and overseen the construction and rehabilitation of more railways than any other government since 1992. Like Chimota in Sawam, Accra, Tema, Kojokrom Takwa, Kojokrom Manso, and Tema Mpakada. We have the rural telephony network to more areas than any other government since 1992. We have increased the network from 78 sites to 1,008 sites. We have constructed more fish landing sites than any other government. Exim, Dix Cove, Moree, Mumford, Winneba, Senyabreku, Gomwa, Fete, Teshi, Keta, Osu, Ekumfi, and Fasiman. Ladies and gentlemen, our government has constructed more sports facilities than any other government since 1992. We have completed 6 new multi-purpose sports stadia and 4 ongoing in each of the 10 regions. 10 old regions. We completed the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon, built multi-purpose sports facilities at Poteman for the African Games, as well as increased the public astroturfs. When we came into office, there were only 3 astroturfs in Ghana. Today, we have over 150 and still growing. We have constructed more infrastructure and implemented more development policies in the Zongo communities than any other government since 92. The Zongo Development Fund has completed over 200 infrastructure projects in Zongo communities. We have strengthened the National Health Insurance Scheme, which President Kufuor bequeathed us, which was on its knees when we assumed office. Between 2013 and 2016, the number of NHIS registrations increased by 500,000, from 10.1 million to 10.6 million. Between 2017 and 2022, on the other hand, the number of NHIS registrations increased by 6.5 million people to 17.1 million. We have also extended NHIS coverage to childhood cancers and hydroxyurea medicine for sickle cell patients. Ladies and gentlemen, we provided free electricity to lifeline consumers and a 50% discount to other consumers for a whole year during COVID-19. It is important, and it is very important that you hear this, that between 2009 and 2016, the average annual increase in the electricity tariffs was 50% a year between 2009 and 2016. Average annual increase was 50% a year. Between 2017 and 2023, on the other hand, the average annual increase has been 11.1%. This is the lowest average annual increase in end-user electricity tariffs for any government since 1992. We have also introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to assist people with problems of rent advance. And so far, 1,492 people have benefited from the National Rental Assistance Scheme. Of course, we have implemented free TVET, and we have also implemented free senior high school education. Free SHS has seen an increase in enrollment from 800,000 in 2016 to 1.4 million by 2022. The year 2023 has recorded the highest ever level of enrollment in senior high school. Around 500,000 students are enrolling in 2023. In addition, the performance of the students at the WACSI examinations is also the best since 2015. And what is even more remarkable is that today we have virtually achieved gender parity in the senior high schools between boys and girls in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to go digital now. For me, to lead is to solve. Indeed, all my adult life, my biggest motivation is about finding solutions. Solutions that improve lives. Solutions that make public services efficient and accessible. Solutions that make society progress. Solutions that protect the public purse. Solutions that make our businesses competitive. I derive my greatest satisfaction from solving problems, and I have done so whenever I am given the opportunity, and will do more if I am given the mandate to do so. I had long held the view that many of these problems facing the economy could be resolved through digitalization. In fact, in my 2010 book on monetary policy and financial sector reform in Africa, I proposed digitalization, amongst others, as the way forward for African countries. So when we assumed office in 2017, as Vice President, I made the decision, with the blessings and support of the President, to focus on the critical but underdeveloped systems that would expand the economy, improve systems, and create jobs through digitalization. Therefore, as the Finance Minister oversees the budget through fiscal policy, the Governor of the Central Bank also focused on monetary and exchange rate policy. I focused on the complementary data and systems improvement that would ensure the ease of doing business and change the fundamentals of the economy, making it more dynamic and responsive to modern trends, and the management of it more scientific and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, I was thankfully appointed as chairman of the economic management team. As a subcommittee to cabinet, we do not have any decision-making powers, but I am very proud of the quality of advice we have been providing over the years to cabinet. As Vice President, I was asked by the President to assist in solving some of the problems that were inhibiting the transformation of Ghana's economy. My approach was to help formalize the economy through digitalization, as stated in our 2016 manifesto. This is why my office has had oversight responsibility for many of the government's digitalization projects. We can only build a vibrant nation if we have strong systems and institutions that work. Very soon, artificial intelligence will transform the world. How are we preparing Ghana for this new phenomenon? I will now come to how we are using digitalization to transform the economy and preparing our society to be competitive as Africa is busily becoming the largest single market in the world with its 1.4 billion people. Ladies and gentlemen, a major problem that we had as a country was the absence of a unique identity for citizens and residents. With oversight from my office, the National Identification Authority moved very quickly with the issuance of the biometric national ID cards, the Ghana card, to the population. The Ghana card project was initiated by President Kufuor. So far, some 17 million people have been enrolled on the Ghana card by the NIA. I would like to note that between 2007 and 2016, only 900,000 Ghana cards were issued. With the Ghana card, the identity of the people, even dead people, can be established using their fingerprints. With the Ghana card, every Ghanaian, regardless of locations or status, whether rich or poor, now can be officially registered and recognized as a Ghanaian. Before this, it was possible for someone to be born, live and die in Ghana without ever being registered. Identity fraud, age cheating, football age, people cheating on their retirement age, fake birth certificates, fake passports will no longer be possible with the Ghana card. Today, because your Ghana card is linked to your bank account and your SIM card, people cannot just go and borrow money from the bank and disappear and appear with a new name as used to happen, and this led to higher interest rates. The Ghana card can also be used to travel from abroad into Ghana from 44,000 airports in the world. The Ghana card is a major element in many of the digitalization initiatives that we have undertaken. That is why its successful implementation has been so important to me. Ladies and gentlemen, to solve the problem of a lack of a working address system in Ghana, with oversight from my office, we have leveraged on GPS technology to implement a digital address system for Ghana, capturing every square inch of land or water in Ghana. Today, every property in Ghana has a unique digital address, along with street names and house numbers. And finding directions to any location is now very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, we face a major problem of very few people having access to financial services. To solve this problem, I championed the implementation of mobile money interoperability. Mobile money interoperability has made it possible to transfer money seamlessly across different mobile money providers and between bank accounts and mobile wallets. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can transfer money from a customer of one mobile money service provider to a customer of a different mobile money service provider, and also make payments from your mobile money account into any bank account, and you can receive payments from any bank account into your mobile money account. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do this 24 hours a day. achieving financial inclusion. Mobile money interoperability has also significantly promoted a cashless culture, especially by our market women and the business community, thus reducing robberies and attacks on market women and business folks on our highways. Armed robbers used to attack vehicles carrying traders, knowing they were carrying cash. But now, many traders don't carry cash because they keep their monies on their mobile wallets for seamless transactions wherever they are. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can also receive remittances from abroad directly onto your mobile wallet without the need to go to a bank or Western Union money transfer. Because the mobile money account performs just like a bank account, as a result of mobile money interoperability, over 90% of Ghanaian adults have mobile money accounts that function just like bank accounts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have basically solved the problem of financial exclusion in Ghana. The State of Inclusive Instant Payment Report has ranked Ghana as the #1 in Africa in terms of access to financial inclusion. #1 in the whole of Africa. Today, because of digitalization, anyone can do banking and digital financial transactions 24 hours a day. The data shows that at the end of 2016, the total cumulative value of mobile money transactions was 78.5 billion Ghana cedis at the end of 2016. Following mobile money interoperability, the total cumulative value of mobile money transactions has increased from 78.5 billion to 1.9 trillion cedis in 2023. Therefore, between 2016 and 2023, following mobile money interoperability, Momo transactions have increased by 2,335%, a 23-fold increase. This is why Ghana continues to be the fastest growing mobile money market in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the digital payments infrastructure that we have put in place is boosting e-commerce in Ghana. Businesses are booming over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Many people who could not afford to rent or build shops are able to do business on the internet at little cost, with deliveries helped by the digital address and payments using mobile money interoperability. Ladies and gentlemen, e-commerce can be done 24 hours a day. Ghana is currently ranked #6 in Africa in terms of e-commerce. #6 in Africa, behind Mauritius, Nigeria, South Africa, Tunisia, and Morocco, according to AMTA. Ladies and gentlemen, addressing corruption in the public service, our approach to improving delivery of public services is to minimize human contact as much as possible. Therefore, we embark on an aggressive digitalization of processes of service delivery across many public institutions with coordination from my office. When you look at the passport office, we have digitalized the passport office with oversight from my office. With digitalization, the average turnaround for acquisition of passports has been significantly reduced. And today, because of digitalization of the passport office, you can apply for your passport online from your home 24 hours a day. The digitalization of the passport application process has resulted in a major increase in the number of passports processed annually, as well as the revenue yield to the passport office. In 2018, the total number of passports issued was 346,911, and the revenue generated in 2018 was 11.8 million. By 2023, following digitalization, the passport office issued 751,761 passports with revenue of 94 million Ghana cedis. The ultimate objective is to eradicate human interface in all phases of the passport application process, to give true meaning to the online filing and processing of forms. I will come back to this issue of passport shortly when I get into my vision and priority. Then we went to the ports. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, previously, the bureaucracy in the clearing of goods at Ghana's ports involved a lot of paperwork, which used to be largely manual. This caused delays, corruption, inefficiencies, frustration, and loss of revenue to government. Many citizens who had cleared goods at the country's ports had horror stories about their experiences at the port. With oversight from my office, the introduction of a paperless port system has reduced the layers and simplified the process, reduced the time needed to clear goods and the avenues for corruption, and increased efficiencies and revenue mobilization at the ports. Digitalization has also taken place at the Drivers and Vehicle Licensing Authority, which offers two traditional services: driver licensing and vehicle registration services. And today, the office services that DVLA is offering can be matched well, and they're just world class. They can be matched to any other country. Ladies and gentlemen, my office also worked with the National Insurance Commission to implement the motor insurance database. The objective of the introduction of the motor insurance database is to provide more safeguards for the millions of Ghanaians who travel by road by ensuring that vehicles are insured. It also curbs the menace of vehicles with fake motor insurance stickers plying our roads and thus endangering lives and property. With digitalization of the motor insurance in Ghana, members of the public can now self-check the authenticity of their insurance policy by dialing a USSD code *920*57# and follow the instructions. You put in the number, it will tell you whether the car is insured or is not insured. So, today you can know the status of the vehicle, is the insurance status of any vehicle 24 hours a day. Today, because of digitalization, you can also apply for insurance for your vehicle on your mobile phone and receive your insurance sticker electronically. And you can do this 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, with oversight from my office, we have digitized the births and deaths registry, and we have just completed the integration of the births and deaths registry with the database of the Ghana Health Service and the National Identification Authority, so that the record of births and deaths would be consistent across all of these databases. Starting this quarter, in fact, I will launch this in a few weeks, but starting this quarter, newborn children in Ghana will be given a Ghana card number. But the actual Ghana card will be issued when the child is 6 years old, when his or her biometrics are fully formed. So we are bringing abrogatory to Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past, candidates applying for a scholarship usually had to travel from all parts of Ghana to Accra to take part in the application process. This caused a great deal of inconvenience for applicants seeking government sponsorships. The manual processes of the Scholarship Secretariat resulted in an inefficient administration of scholarships in the country. With the digitalization of the Scholarship Secretariat, candidates can now apply for scholarship from the comfort of their homes 24 hours a day and take aptitude tests and be interviewed in their own districts. The Ghana.gov platform. Ladies and gentlemen, to make it easy to access government services, I led the initiative to establish the Ghana.gov platform, which was implemented with oversight from my office. The Ghana.gov platform is a one-stop shop for accessing government services. So far, out of the 1,516 ministries, departments, and agencies targeted, we have onboarded 1,503 of them onto the Ghana.gov platform for e-government services. So 99% of MMDAs have been onboarded on the Ghana.gov platform. All payments on the Ghana.gov platform go directly into the government accounts to ensuring transparency. Since 2020, a total of 201 billion Ghana cedis has been collected for government on the platform. For services onboarded and receiving payments, you should be able to apply for and obtain any government service online through the Ghana.gov platform 24 hours a day. Digitalization has therefore dealt a severe blow to the corruption involved in the collection of payments by different institutions for government. The progress Ghana has made in the provision of e-government services is remarkable. According to the UNDP 2022 e-governance index, Ghana is ranked #1 in West Africa and #4 in the whole of Africa in terms of e-governance. And we are ahead of countries such as Rwanda, Botswana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Kenya, and Uganda. With oversight from my office, ladies and gentlemen, digitalization at the Electricity Company of Ghana has allowed the buying of electricity credit on your mobile phone through the mobile ECG app. This has provided relief to customers who no longer have to queue for long hours to buy electricity units. Also, for people whose credit runs out at odd hours, they can purchase electricity credit on their mobile phones 24 hours a day. Now, for people who need a new service or a separate meter from ECG, they can also apply online 24 hours a day. 3.5 million people are on the ECG app, and as a result of digitalization, ECG's monthly revenue collections have increased from 450 million Ghana cedis a month to 1.2 billion Ghana cedis a month. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has a major challenge in the area of domestic revenue mobilization. The tax to GDP ratio is about 14%, compared to 27% for South Africa and 34% for the advanced OECD countries. Most adults in Ghana are outside the tax net, and compliance is very low. At the beginning of 2017, only 4% of the population of Ghana had tax identification numbers. To increase the number of people with tax identification numbers, I propose that we designate the Ghana card as the tax identification number. In doing this, we have increased the percentage of adults with tax identification numbers from 4% to 85%. It is now incumbent on the GRA to use this database in tax collection to broaden the tax net. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, with oversight from my office, the SNIT, National Health Insurance, GRA, Controller and Accountant General Payroll, DVLA, SIM cards, and bank accounts have all been linked to the NIA database, linked to the Ghana card. Today, your SNIT number is your Ghana card number. Your NHIS number is your Ghana card number. Your TIN number is your Ghana card. The integration of the database is allowing us to successfully weed out ghost workers on payroll. A biometric audit of the National Service Scheme payroll found about 44,707 ghost workers and potential ghost workers between 2022 and 2024. And this has saved Ghana a total of 356 million Ghana cedis. Also, SNIT has suspended payment of 480 million Ghana cedis to 29,000 ghost pensioners using the Ghana card system. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also recently integrated the Controller and Accountant General Payroll database with the NIA database to eliminate ghost workers on government payroll. Through digitalization, we have finally been able to solve the long-standing problem of ghost workers on government payroll. Ladies and gentlemen, many people, including highly educated people, find the process of filing taxes complex. To make it easier and less cumbersome to file taxes, I challenged the GRA to come up with a simple-to-use mobile app to enable ordinary people to file and pay taxes using their mobile phones. And this has been done. Today, you can file your taxes 24 hours a day on your mobile phone. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of healthcare, digitalization of hospital medical records. To make healthcare easily accessible across the country, we have overseen the connection of health facilities under the Ghana Health Service onto one digital platform. So far, all teaching hospitals, all regional hospitals, and all district hospitals have been connected and can talk to each other. The goal is to network over 90% of all hospitals in Ghana by the end of next year. So currently, if you are referred from a hospital like Tamale Teaching Hospital to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, you do not need to carry a folder. All your records will be seen and monitored by the doctor in Kolebu when you arrive. Patients will have only one digital folder wherever they go. Your health records can be accessed 24 hours a day from any of the 300 network hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, digitizing the operations of the National Health Insurance Authority has helped to reduce fraudulent claims. The renewal of all national health insurance registrations used to take place at various NHIA district offices. This led to backlogs and long queues. In some instances, people slept for days at some district hospitals. These delays hampered the operations and limited the revenue streams of the NHIA. With oversight from my office, we have digitalized the enrollment and renewal of the National Health Insurance membership. Following digitalization, renewal of National Health Insurance registration via mobile phone can now take place 24 hours a day. And this has eliminated the bottlenecks that were there. I now come to drones. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember with so much pain when my father underwent an operation in Tamale Teaching Hospital that night, and the doctors were trying to get blood for him. We rushed to the hospital blood bank, but it was closed. I tried to get the phone number of the one in charge and made several calls, but he did not pick up. We were running against time, and by the morning, my father had died. That painful experience is forever with me. So when I heard about zipline drone technology that could deliver blood and other medicines in an emergency, I was determined to get it for Ghana, to save many lives that are needlessly lost. I went to Silicon Valley in the USA, and I had a meeting with the co-founder of Zipline, Robert Kelly, and convinced him to set up Zipline in Ghana. When I announced the imminent arrival of Zipline in Ghana, our friends in the opposition said that the drones were for taking pictures of women in their bathrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, previously, hospitals and clinics in remote and largely rural communities like Nyambosrea in Afajato South, Afram Plains, Yagaba, or Yunyo had difficulty of getting medical supplies, especially in times of emergencies involving snake bites, childbirth, blood loss, floods, and so on. Many lives are needlessly lost because the hospitals are unable to access critically needed supplies on time. To address this problem, Ghana opted to partner with Zipline, the world's largest automated on-demand delivery service for medical supplies. We've established 6 Zipline distribution centers in Omanako, in the Eastern region, Panya, Ashanti, Mampong, Vopsi in Northeast region, Seshwiwi also, Kitikrachi, Enum, and Zipline has made millions of deliveries of medicines, blood, and vaccines to many remote parts of Ghana and has saved many lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Zipline services are available 24 hours a day. I should add rather proudly that Ghana has the largest medical drone delivery service in the whole world. The whole world. What is even more impressive is that the drone centers are 100% manned by young, talented Ghanaians. They manage all of the drones. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, I challenged the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana during their annual meeting in Ho to go digital and place all pharmacies in Ghana on a digital platform for ease of access by Ghanaians. The Pharmacy Council, in collaboration with the private sector, has completed the work on a digital platform for all pharmacies in Ghana. Basically, the National Electronic pharmacy platform will offer the opportunity for everybody through a mobile phone to upload your prescriptions and find out which pharmacies near you have the medicines. Secondly, you can compare the prices of the same drug offered by the different pharmacies and decide where you want to order from. And those orders will be delivered using your digital address at home. Ghanaians will experience the e-pharmacy platform in full operation this year when every pharmacy is onboarded. E-pharmacy services will be available 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 7 years, we have witnessed what some international observers have described as an extraordinary digitalization of the Ghanaian economy. But this extraordinary digitalization has not happened in a vacuum. We have had to put in place critical infrastructure to support digitalization. I should note that 93% of the NCA licensed fiber optic cable in Ghana, the total licensed fiber optic cable is 7,234 kilometers. But 93% of that was put in place since 2017. Since 2017. In addition, we've implemented a national government cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity infrastructure, deployed the public key infrastructure, PKI, to provide another layer of security to students, to citizens, to support digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, what is remarkable about Ghana's digitalization journey is that the various initiatives were implemented using local IT companies and local talent. It was deliberately done that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if as my prospective employer, you ask me the question, so Dr. Bawumia, you want to be president of Ghana, yes. Can you tell us what you did for Ghana in your capacity as vice president? I will say in response that I have, with the support of the president, I've had the honor and the privilege to be given the opportunity to initiate, champion, or oversee many problem-solving policy initiatives. Many of these include many of the digitalization initiatives that I have just discussed, the no guarantor student loans with the Ghana card, one constituency, one ambulance, zipline drones, Agenda 111, the Sino-Hydro Barter Agreement, provision of hydroxyurea for sickle cell patients, Zongo Development Fund, the Bank of Ghana Gold Purchase Program, the Gold for Oil Policy, abolishing the failure of application cards, Go Right Taxi Service, the system to tackle ghost names on the public payroll, and many more. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, to note that many of the transformational policy initiatives that we have introduced since 2017 are being done for the first time since independence. What is interesting is that because many of them have not been done before, many people who think in terms of impossibility argue that they were not possible, but we have made them possible.
It's possible.
Criticisms and name-calling eventually gave way to reality as the nation is greatly benefiting from these initiatives. What we have been able to accomplish so far shows that it is possible for Ghana to achieve many things that some believe to be impossible. It is possible if we put our minds to it. We need to break the shackles of impossibility and embrace the mindset of possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, I now come to my vision. As Vice President, I am like a driver's mate. But by the grace of God, if you make me the president, I will be in the driver's seat. I will be in the driver's seat with constitutionally mandated authority to pursue my vision and my priorities. So what do I want to do in terms of vision and priorities and policies if you give me the opportunity by the grace of God to become President of the Republic of Ghana? Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, I have been engaged in a lot of consultation and doing a lot of thinking in the last few months about the lessons of the last 7 years, as well as my vision and priorities as I seek to become President of the Republic of Ghana. Clearly, the initial conditions that we inherited in 2017 are not the same as will be in 2025. Therefore, my priorities will be different. We have done many good things, and I will be seeking to build upon them. My vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to create a tent big enough to accommodate all our people, to tap into the resourcefulness and talents of our people, irrespective of our different ethnic, political, and religious backgrounds, to channel our energies into building the kind of country that assures food self-sufficient, country that assures a dignified future for all Ghanaians. To create sustainable jobs with meaningful pay for all and for Ghana to participate fully in the fourth industrial revolution using systems and data. To realize this vision, we must have a mindset of possibilities and not impossibilities. The challenges we must overcome as a country are too important to let our political differences derail us. There is a critical failure of mindset that manifests itself in the absence of core values, patriotism, and principles within our society. We need to invigorate the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, to believe that we can do better than we have ever imagined if we put our minds to it. For example, our students from Mufti Girls Senior High School and Prempeh College have won international robotic competitions against their peers in the US, Germany, and South Korea. We must apply the same mindset of beating the world in robotics, sing-a-thons, and cook-a-thons to every sphere of economic activity. We must believe that it is possible. This must be inculcated in our children from home and in school. This is why we are going to introduce a growth mindset curriculum in our schools to help students build critical skills such as problem solving, risk taking, opportunity spotting, and design thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of macroeconomic stability, a major goal of my government would be to attain and sustain macroeconomic stability with low inflation, low interest rates, exchange rate stability, and low budget deficits. In terms of prudently managing our expenditures, to reduce the budget deficit and interest rates, my government will enhance fiscal discipline through an independent Fiscal Responsibility Council enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2018, Act 982. The Fiscal Responsibility Act will also be amended to add a fiscal rule that requires that budgeted expenditure in any year does not exceed 105% of the previous year's tax revenue. This will prevent the experience of budgetary expenditures based on optimistic revenue forecasts, which many a time do not materialize. Ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, my government will reduce the fiscal burden on government by leveraging the private sector. Under the two-term administration of my boss, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, we have put in place many social safety nets like free SHS, free TVET, and so on. With all these social safety nets in place, my government will now focus on jobs and wealth creation by the private sector for all Ghanaians. My administration will incentivize the private sector to complement government in the provision of many infrastructure and other services to reduce government expenditure and improve maintenance. The private sector will be encouraged to build roads, schools, hostels, and houses for government to rent or lease to hold. The demand for roads construction is massive, and this has historically placed a huge burden on the budget. I believe that the private sector should finance the construction and maintenance of roads through PPP concession arrangements. Also, the government will move towards leasing rather than purchasing vehicles, printing equipment, and so on. The private sector will have the responsibility for maintaining the vehicles and the equipment. With this approach, government can save very significant outright cash out expenditure annually from various items across different ministries, departments, and agencies. This policy will energize the private sector and create many jobs. Enhancing the role of the private sector, along with fiscal and administrative decentralization, improving our systems and the way our institutions function will lead to greater efficiency, cutting waste and ensuring value for money in procurement. The move towards private sector provision of many public services would create the fiscal space of at least 3% of GDP annually. This represents a major paradigm shift. Additionally, an efficient system of governance will require even fewer ministers. I would have, therefore, no more than 50 ministers and deputy ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our tax system. To increase government tax revenue, we have to reform and refocus the Ghana Revenue Authority towards broadening the tax base. Unfortunately, the pressure that is placed on GRA staff to collect revenues makes them focus on existing taxpayers. Sometimes they even have to go and sit in people's shops to monitor sales, a process known as invigilation. In fact, many businesses feel harassed by this process and the constant audits of their operations. So this has to stop. We must strike the right balance between collecting revenue and allowing businesses to thrive. Our job is to protect the productive forces. The World Bank has estimated that revenues amounting to 13% of GDP, that is $24 billion in 2023, are not collected because people are outside the tax net. Even collecting half or a quarter of this annual will be a game changer for our public's finances. To do this, we need to inculcate and enforce a culture of people filing their tax returns. Incentives must be provided to encourage people to file their tax returns even if they will pay zero taxes. We need a fresh start. The current tax regime has been with us since independence, and it has failed us. Many people do not pay taxes, including property taxes. Too much discretion results in corruption. We want a tax regime that is easy to understand, easy to comply with, and easy to enforce, and that is not subject to so much discretion. Many individuals and businesses find our tax system cumbersome and confusing. My administration will introduce a very simple, citizen and business-friendly flat tax regime. A flat tax of a percentage of income for individuals and SMEs, which constitute 98% of all businesses in Ghana, with appropriate exemption threshold to protect the poor. With a new flat tax regime, a tax return should be able to be completed in just a few minutes. We will also simplify our complicated corporate tax system and VAT regime. To start the system on a clean slate, my government will provide a tax amnesty, that is a complete exemption from payment of taxes for a specified period and waiving the interest and penalties up to a certain year to individuals and businesses for failures to file taxes in previous years, so that everybody will start afresh. Tax digitalization will be implemented across all aspects of tax administration. Everyone will be required to file a very simple tax return electronically through their mobile phone or computer. There will be no manual or paper filing of taxes under my administration. Assessments by GRA will also be faceless. Faceless assessments will provide transparency and accountability. There will be no need to send GRA officers to go and sit in shops. E-invoicing has been implemented by the GRA will be extended to all companies. Estonia, India, and Mexico provide very useful models for Ghana in the area of tax digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition, any audit by GRA will also be done electronically and faceless. Furthermore, no entity will be audited more than once in 5 years unless anomalies are detected which the individual or company does not correct after being given the opportunity to do so. We will amend the law such that if there is a dispute about tax assessment, binding arbitration will take place through a body constituted by institutions such as the Ghana Arbitration Center, Institute of Taxation, AGI, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Private Enterprise Foundation, Ghana Employers Association, and so on, with a mandate to resolve any appeal in a maximum of 3 months. This will not affect companies, however, who by their agreements have such arbitrations taking place in international jurisdiction. Ladies and gentlemen, with cuts in government expenditure, the private sector undertaking expenditure that would normally be done by government, and the new tax regime, the flat tax regime, that will enhance compliance, broaden the tax base, and increase tax revenue. With these policies, the situation we are going to face in 2025 is going to be very different from the situation we faced in 2020 and 2022. With the policy measures implemented so far, we have outperformed the IMF fiscal deficit target of 5% by attaining a fiscal deficit target of 4.2% in 2023. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax, and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a Ghana where we leverage technology, data, and systems for inclusive economic growth. I want us to apply digital technology, STEM, robotics, and artificial intelligence for the transformation of agriculture, healthcare, education, manufacturing, fintech, and public service delivery. As part of this process, it is my goal to eliminate the digital divide by achieving close to 100% internet penetration in Ghana. We have already made significant progress in this direction by increasing internet penetration from 34% in 2016 to 72% in 2023. So we've more than doubled internet penetration. The task in the next 4 years is to move from 72% to close to 100% internet penetration. It is possible. I want to see Ghana build the digital talent that we require for the fourth industrial revolution. This will mean providing digital and software skills to hundreds of thousands of youth. This, along with other policies, will create jobs for the youth, including school dropouts. In collaboration with the private sector, we will train at least 1 million youth in IT skills, including software developers, to provide job opportunities worldwide. Generally, there will be an enhanced focus on TVET education. My government will also support the establishment of a national open university, Ghana, in collaboration with the private sector, with a focus on technical and vocational skills and ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, to help our youth get jobs, I believe it is time to rethink the concept of the current national service scheme. My government will propose that those who, after completion of their education, can secure jobs will be exempted from national service. National service will no longer be mandatory, and students will have the option to decide whether to do national service or not. This will also encourage companies to go to the campuses to recruit annually. This time they don't go because of national service. Ladies and gentlemen, to prepare our children for the fourth industrial revolution workplace, I will enhance the repositioning of the education system towards STEM, robotics, artificial intelligence, and vocational skills to cope with the demands of the fourth industrial revolution and job creation. My government will make coding and robotics standard in senior high school. The foundation for this is being laid with the provision of laptops to senior high school students very soon. Teachers have already been given the requisite training. Following the senior high school, we will also implement a one student, one laptops policy for tertiary students through the provision of a zero interest loan with a 70% discount on the cost of the laptop payable over 4 years for tertiary students who need laptops. Furthermore, to become a digital hub in Africa, Ghana's telecom industry needs more investment. the cost of data for the ordinary Ghanaian has become too expensive. It goes against the very ethos of our digitalization journey. The industry cannot continue to operate at the efficiency and pricing levels of the least efficient operators. The focus has to be on the best efficiency and pricing for the consumer. I commit to working with the industry players in setting clear policy guidelines that will remove any investor uncertainty and difficulties in business planning, including the expeditious allocation of spectrum, driven more by the goal of enhancing digital inclusion and less by revenue consideration. If you want a man to trust to take care of the poor, disabled, and the vulnerable, it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who has the vision and commitment to prepare Ghana for the fourth industrial revolution, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who is more committed to protecting and using our natural resources for the benefit of all Ghanaians, it is Dr. Bawumia. Who will be more accountable to Ghanaians? A one-term president like my competitor, or a person who can look to the long-term development of Ghana because he can have 2 terms? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who can you trust to protect and improve free senior high school education? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who can you entrust to improve the national health insurance scheme and improve the quality of health care in Ghana? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who has demonstrated a commitment to the development of deprived communities like the Zongo communities? It is Dr. Bawumia. Ladies and gentlemen, many people have said that I am the most impactful vice president in Ghana since independence. I do not intend to compare what I have achieved as vice president under President Minhaal to that of a vice president who could not perhaps make a mark. I would let you be the judge of that. But I can say that I have never been president of this country before. I am presenting myself to you for the first time to ask for your precious vote to serve you as your president. In all humility, I would like you to give me the opportunity to become one of the most impactful presidents in Ghana's history. I have outlined many far-reaching measures in this speech. These are measures that should put us on the right path and transform our economy. I know that many of us might be tempted to say that we have had many bright and even brave ideas before, and that will be true. Many will say the problem we have is not lack of ideas, but implementation. Many will say the problem is leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer only what has guided me throughout my life: hard work, personal integrity, accountability, and selfless leadership. I am determined to make a difference, a positive difference. I will work for you and with you, with honesty and integrity, with wisdom and decisiveness. I have clarity in my mind as to what I want to do from day one if you make me president. I will not ask for a honeymoon to cool off and think about what to do. I am prepared and ready to work if you give me the opportunity. You know what I stand for. You know my vision. My vision is about your mission. I believe in the ingenuity of the Ghanaian. Together, we can succeed in building a progressive society of possibilities, enterprise, compassion, open opportunities, and a shared prosperity for every Ghanaian, born rich or poor, born from the north, from the south, born Christian or Muslim, a boy or a girl. With your support and prayers and God's guidance, we can win together. It is possible. Thank you for your attention. God bless you and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
A big round of applause for His Excellency and the leader of the New Patriotic Party, Mrs. Bawumia. Please join your husband on stage as we acknowledge the responses from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Bawumia. Wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags. It is. Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And as they resume their seats, please let's all resume our seats. Wherever we may be, we're almost at the end of the event. Celebrate the mission, boldly outline, bold solutions for the future, bold solutions for the future. It is. Thank you very much, Dr. Bawumia. Thank you very much.
Between 2017 and now, the government of Ghana has executed tens of thousands of projects across the length and breadth of the state. We've used the taxpayers' money to deliver public goods and services. The time has come to tell the story in the detail of what has been executed so far.
You heard of planting for food acres. 80% of the grades and legumes that are being planted, even more than, come from the research lab and fields of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation.
We are taking the production of aquaculture from 4,000 to over 6,000 metric tons.
We have worked very hard to make it possible for Ghana to become the headquarters of the African Continental Community.
Please sit down. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please sit
several years of
down. We are
completed.
respectfully asking you to sit down.
We've also found new oil in the Jubilee Southeast, pumping around 30,000 barrels of oil.
to help improve our places. The government, since 2017, has constructed over 40 kilometers.
HAFIZ TV, unique every day.